Hey friends, this is Sean Washburn from YourExcelTutor.com, and you're watching 30 Tips in 30 Days. And today we're going to cover a couple functions I think you'll find really useful, and they are COUNTIF and SUMIF. And if you've never used functions, just like when we looked at VLOOKUP and things like that, they're going to sound kind of weird, but you'll get the hang of what they do pretty easily here. So first we're going to cover COUNTIF. And what I did is I just got a little table here, and let's say these are results from a quiz, and 10 students took the quiz, and these are their answers, and we want to find out really quickly how many answered yes and how many answered no. So here's the results up here: yes, no. Now you could go through, there's lots of different ways you could do this, but COUNTIF is a great way to do it. So what you do is, you can see COUNTIF here set up. We'll go ahead and click the little function pop out there. So there's two parts to it. One is the range, and that's the range that you're looking at here, this group. And the second is the criteria, and that's what you want to look for in that range. So in this case, that's the range, and we want to look for this one, we want to look in this cell, and that value is Y. So what it's going to do is going to look in that range and see how many times does Y show up, and it's going to count all those. So in this case, there's 7, and there's 3 no's. So if we change one of these, let's say to a no, and it picks up whether it's upper or lowercase, you'll see that update change down there. If we change one of these to a yes, same thing, it goes back. So I use this all the time. It's great for dashboard type of things, or usually I'll use it maybe at the top of a sheet where I want to have a continual update on some kind of counting of things and stuff like that. So really useful, lets you just do that, and there's lots of different ways you can use it, but the main use is just like that. So yes, no, looking through stuff, finding how many. SUMIF is similar, but what it's going to do, as the name entails, is if we look at this one, this is the closest to the COUNTIF. There's a couple ways to use SUMIF. SUMIF looks and finds all the things you're looking for, but then instead of counting them, it sums them, as the name says. So here there's no numbers, so there's nothing really to sum. So if you want to do it straight up, what I did over here is, let's say we received payments from people for something. I don't know what it is, for watching their pets, let's say, and you want to quickly be able to know, just when you're checking your cash register, let's say we're at a concession stand, that might be better, right? You want to be able to know what you should expect, as if you knew that these were the results of what you received in 10, 20, these are the dollar bill amounts, that when you look down here, this is what you should have. You should have $60 worth of 10s, 60 worth of 20s, 100 worth of 50s, and all that stuff. Now you could also do the same thing with COUNTIF if you wanted to just know how many $10 bills. So in this case, there should be 6 $10 bills. But for some reason, if you wanted to know the total dollar amount, that's what this is going to give you. So for 10s, it works pretty easy. You get down to here to 50s. We got 2 50s, and they're worth $100. So you can see it's set up the same way. You've got a range, and then you've got a criteria. And as we covered in a previous tip, you see that the range is an absolute range, so as I go down, it stays the same, and the only thing that changes is the criteria. So the last way we're going to cover here to use COUNTIF SUMIF, is in this case. So here's what we've got. We've got 2 columns, and what we want to do is, every time I see Monday, in this case, here's Monday down here. Every time I see Monday, I want it to sum all the numbers next to Monday. So what it's going to do is, it's going to grab this 130, it's going to come down and grab this 95 and add them together, and you get 225. Now what I did here too, and I believe this was from tip 12, was on data validation. I made a little list, and if you click this drop down, you get the list of the dates. So I can pick any of these, and it's going to update my value here. So I'll pick Friday, I could pick Thursday, and it's going to look and find each time that those are used in here, and then use this other column for counting those things up. And you can see how that's worked here. So we do the function. So you see the range is this range. The criteria is this cell here, D18. And then the sum range is this one. And over here we didn't use the sum range. We wanted to actually sum up the actual cells that we found. So as we found a 10 and found another 10, we would start to just add those up. In this case, that's not the way we were looking in this column. When we find one, we want to add the things that are in this column. So just a couple examples of how you can use that. I think anytime, again, when you have tables of data, this is the kind of thing that is really helpful for getting you to the bottom line of what does that information mean that you have. Data is kind of useless unless you know how to use it and how to sort of sum it up and give you information, whether that's, you could do that in a chart, or you could do it in using functions like these and have little dashboard kind of things across the top. So as you update things, this would be great for even a budget or something like that, where every time you have gasoline in here or you have food, that it's going to sum all those things up. So just a couple examples, 2 great functions, and hope you maybe try those out next time, and hope you enjoy this tip, and check in tomorrow for another one.